Welcome everyone to the Inner Engineering Completion Online Program. This session has been designed to familiarize you with what is being offered in this program in the month of June. Before we get started, we'd like to take a moment and get to know one another. So please post in the chat window the city from which you are logging in from. We'll give you a moment to do it now. I see some of you are logging in from the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, Oregon, New Mexico, North Carolina. We have someone logging in from Australia, Mexico, Canada, a few of you. Kansas City, Florida, Montana. Well, this is wonderful. Well, I am joining you live from Isha Institute of Inner Sciences. That is the yoga center established by Sadhguru Jagadish Vasudev, located in Tennessee, just outside of Nashville. We hope you've had a chance to visit or are planning a visit sometime in the future. My name is Yamuna, and I am a volunteer with Isha Foundation. I support the vision of the foundation full-time, and I am also an Isha instructor. In addition, I used to practice law in the Washington, D.C. area. So I am logging in from Tennessee, from the yoga center here, just outside of Nashville. As I mentioned a moment ago, the focus of today's webinar is to familiarize you with what is being offered in the Inner Engineering Completion online program. So to make sure that we tailor this webinar, this online gathering, and make it most effective for you, we'd like to ask you a question to start off with. We're going to place a poll question up on the screen, asking you where you are in your journey of inner engineering. Multiple options are there. Option A, not taken inner engineering. Option B, going through inner engineering online course currently. C, completed inner engineering online. D, registered for inner engineering completion online. And E, completed inner engineering completion and learned Shambhavi Kriya. We'll give you a moment to make your choice. I see a few of you have not yet taken inner engineering. A few more have completed inner engineering online. There are a few of you who have registered for the program that this webinar is focusing on, Inner Engineering Completion Online. And there are even a few of you going through Inner Engineering Online currently. It's wonderful to see your responses. We will close the poll now. Inner Engineering is Isha Foundation's flagship program. Now, to understand why inner engineering is needed, let us first listen to Sadhguru speak about the pursuit of happiness.
Now, we are thinking of happiness like it's some kind of a commodity or some kind of an attainment. No, when your life comes to ease, when you come to ease, happiness is a natural consequence. Coming to ease, what does it mean? There are many ways to look at this. Well, because I should not say look inward, you already put a condition on me. So, is it true that today, even medically we know, every human experience has a chemical basis to it? So what you call as peace is one kind of chemistry, happiness is another kind of chemistry, joy is another kind of chemistry, misery is another kind of chemistry, agony is one kind of chemistry, ecstasy is another kind of chemistry. Every human experience has a chemical basis to it. Or in other words, you are a very complex chemical soup. The question is only, are you a great soup or a lousy soup? If you're a great soup, you taste good, not for somebody, for yourself. When you taste very good for yourself, if you sit here, if you feel extremely pleasant within yourself because the soup is great, then people say you are happy. If you become very, very pleasant, people will say you're joyful. If you become super pleasant, people will say you're ecstatic. So, to make it very simple and understandable for most people, your chemistry needs to be altered. There's a whole technology with which we can create the kind of chemistry that you want. If I teach you how to create a blissful chemistry within yourself, your very chemistry is blissful and you will be blissful. When you're blissful, you will no more be in pursuit of happiness. That is the biggest mistake, that we are in pursuit of happiness. Your life has to become an expression of joy. When your life is an expression of your experience, then what you do not do will not determine the quality of your life. How you are within yourself will determine the quality of your life. I'm sorry, once again I use the word within, but chemistry is not within, it is still outside of you. But if you know how to make the right soup, then being joyful is not an issue, it's a natural consequence of that. So, we can teach you a technology, we can teach you a methodology with which you will know how to stir the right kind of soup within you. This is what I'm calling as inner engineering, that you engineer your chemistry in such a way that it's blissful by its own nature, not because of something. If you think you're going to squeeze happiness out of something or somebody, you will be disappointed because nothing will yield anything unless you have a chemistry of blissfulness within you.
Inner Engineering, Isha Foundation's flagship program, can offer tools to help create an inner chemistry of peace and joy within you. Now, inner engineering is offered in a variety of formats designed by Sadhguru. It is offered as an in-person experience and an online experience. Given the ongoing pandemic and what people have been facing, we were thrilled to be able to start the offering of the online program. For those of you who are unfamiliar with inner engineering, we'll first start with the framework of the structure of the program, and then we will go into a bit more detail. Inner engineering is offered as a two-part experience when we're speaking about the online program. Part 1 is Inner Engineering Online. This is a collection of 7 online sessions that you can do from the comfort of your own home, at your own pace and in your own space. This step 1, or Inner Engineering Online, is a powerful process that can address your mind and emotions. This program includes discourses from Sadhguru, tools that you can make use of, as well as simple practices. Part 1, or Inner Engineering Online, once you complete the 7 sessions, you are ready for Inner Engineering Completion Online. This would be Part 2. In Part 2, or Inner Engineering Completion Online, you will be offered a certain set of practices, or preparatory asanas, that prepare you to receive Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. Currently, the Inner Engineering Completion online program will be offered in early June. And in a moment, we will go through the various steps that one must take to register for the program. Inner Engineering as a complete process offers a complete overhaul of mind, body, emotions, and your energy system. By making the inner engineering practices, the process itself, once you receive it, a daily part of your life, living joyfully and peacefully from within can feel very, very effortless. In other words, the external situations, no matter how stressful they may be, they will no longer determine how you feel from within. This possibility is there for everyone who takes the step of inner engineering. Inner engineering is also offered as an in-person experience. Now that the pandemic situation is somewhat normalizing, here at Isha Institute of Inner Sciences, we have resumed the offering of in-person inner engineering completion programs. These 2-day programs that are offered in person at the center still require the prerequisite of Part 1, which is the completion of 7 online sessions. So whether you take the second step or Part 2 of the completion program, be it in person at the center or online, one must first complete the prerequisite of Inner Engineering Online, or the 7 online sessions. Inner Engineering Completion is offered on a very regular basis here at the center as a residential offering. A little bit more about myself. When I was seeking tools of well-being, I was practicing as an attorney, and I found my inner state, my interiority, very much determined by what was happening around me. So if I was in a stressful situation, I would immediately feel stress within me. It looked as though how I would feel on a particular day was a complete gamble. It all depended on what was going on around me, all the elements of my life that I really had no control over. It became crystal clear to me that I became somehow a hostage to my external environment. I was not living how I wanted to live. So by doing the Inner Engineering program, I was given a set of tools by which I could engineer my system for peace, calm, joy, relaxation, and so many other aspects. It is because I've been so profoundly affected by inner engineering that I am sitting with you during this webinar. It's my privilege to be here with you. So now let us explore how to register for this program. We want to design this session as an interactive one. So just after we explore this next aspect, we'll open it up for Q&A. We'd like to do a quick walkthrough through innerengineering.com. This is the website to familiarize you more with the program. We are sharing the screen with you at the moment. This is the main page for Inner Engineering program, innerengineering.com. If you slowly page down, you will come to a video which is entitled, "What is Inner Engineering?" This is an introductory video that you can watch after this webinar to learn more about the program. If you page down further, you will see ways to join the online program. Since a few of you have shared that you have not yet signed up for Inner Engineering Online, which is Part 1, you see a button there which you can click to enroll for this first step. Just below, you see a little bit more information about Inner Engineering Completion Online, We're going to click on the Enroll button now. There you will see more details about the program itself. If you scroll down a little bit more, you will see date options that you can choose to make use of. If you hit the drop-down menu, if you click on that, you will see multiple timings listed. So the Inner Engineering Completion online program, or part 2 of your process, is offered as a 3-session process. Session 1 and 2 prepare you for session 3, or the culminating session, which is the day that you will receive Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya, the 21-minute practice. If you go down a little bit further, you will see information regarding Inner Engineering Inclusive. This is a package registration option. So if you have not yet started with Part 1, Inner Engineering Online, you can register for the entire process, Part 1 and Part 2, by going to Inner Engineering Inclusive. If you click on that, it will guide you as to how to register for the rest of the program itself. So these are some of the ways where you can register for Inner Engineering online. Also on the main page, you will find sharings and testimonials. We're taking you back to the main page now. Before we go to the testimonials, we have more information regarding Inner Engineering Completion as an in-person offering. And we also have Inner Engineering Retreat, which is a 4-day program offering offered in person. If you page down a little bit farther, you will then start to see the benefits of doing the practices in Inner Engineering. Benefits can range from physical to mental. Many people have reported increases in their power of memory and concentration. Productivity has gone up. Many people have also reported feeling somewhat relieved from their health conditions. If you page down further, you will see research findings listed, as well as the percentages of people who found relief from chronic ailments that have been affecting their quality of life. We will allow you to explore the website even further on your own time. So after seeing this information, one may wonder why inner engineering is needed. Now, we've done a tremendous amount of external engineering. If we look at the world around us, the planet has changed dramatically. We have comforts and conveniences that we could not have ever experienced today. Such things that were unfathomable, now easily available. But with the advent of so many comforts and conveniences, are we any happier? The answer is no. Life has become much more physically comfortable, but within ourselves we have not become happier, more peaceful, or more joyful. Especially over the last 2 years, and as it continues, the pandemic has brought about a variety of consequences that we could have never anticipated, affecting us in our daily lives. Many people have lost people to COVID, people whom they love and care about. Others have experienced upheaval in their jobs. So many various changes have come at us externally. But if we are not able to manage our own system, we will be hostage to the quality of the environment around us. So inner engineering offers each one of us the potential to manage our system, whereby we determine how we experience life. The tools offered in inner engineering can transform your experience in life in such a way where you are no longer affected by what happens to you or what happens around you. Especially at a time like this, when the external is very much not in our control, unfortunately we are seeing that it never was, it is most important, utmost importance that we know how to keep ourselves, no matter what happens around us. So given all that we've shared, we'd like to take a moment and transition into the answering of questions. So please post your questions in the Q&A field, and we will look at them one by one. We already see a few questions posted already, so we'll start with those and continue on to the ones that you post. Elka is asking, will the third session, the initiation in June, be done by Sadhguru? So the whole program, the whole inner engineering program is designed by Sadhguru. All of the program offerings of Isha Foundation are in fact designed by him. In fact, the transmission of Shambhavi Mahamudra cannot be done by anyone else. So this question is pertaining to Inner Engineering Completion Online, or Part 2. Jamie is asking, is it possible to take the first part of Inner Engineering, the 7 sessions again? It is possible, Jamie. So when you register for Part 1 or Inner Engineering Online, you do have a certain amount of time to complete the online sessions. If that time has expired, you can go through the process again. If you have not yet registered or to retake Inner Engineering Online, let's say, and you have not taken Part 2 or the completion program where you learn Shambhavi Mahamudra, the 21-minute practice, you can consider registering for Inner Engineering Inclusive, if you recall from the website when we walked you through it. Jamie is asking, could you please give some information on the meaning and purpose of the 3 preparatory postures? So there are preparatory practices that you will be taught in Part 2 or the Inner Engineering Completion Online program. The significance of the preparatory practices will be given as part of the program experience. The information that will be shared with you will be received in a very particularized way. So I don't want to reduce the impact by speaking about it at this stage, but we will speak about it in depth. But more fundamentally, Sadhguru himself will speak about the significance of these practices when you participate in Part 2 or Inner Engineering Completion Online. Courtney is asking if someone can find enlightenment without doing the practices that are being taught. So we cannot necessarily speak about enlightenment as such. That is not something that I could elaborate upon, but I will tell you that doing these practices from inner engineering could very much transform how you experience life. And if you wish to experience happiness within yourself, no matter what is happening outside, this is the step to take. And quite frankly, it is everyone's pursuit. Inner happiness, inner well-being, that is fundamentally everyone's pursuit, whether they articulate it or not. Monica is asking that, rather she's sharing and then asking a question. I see that you have a price for registering for Inner Engineering. Is it a one-time payment? So if you wish to register for both Part 1 and Part 2, Monica, you would register for Inner Engineering Inclusive. This includes Inner Engineering Online plus Inner Engineering Completion Online. That's the one-time payment offering. If you wish to register for each step in separate parts, Part 1 you would register for Inner Engineering Online, and then Part 2, Inner Engineering Completion Online. So Ismat Ara is asking, I heard Sadhguru needs to initiate this Kriya. If someone wants to do this, how can initiation be done through online completion? We'd like to pause and address this question with Sadhguru's next discourse. Your question, Ismat, is a wonderful segue. So let us all listen to the response together.
There is no such thing as offline initiation and online initiation. Initiation process, particularly for Shambhavi, is more like a consecration of a human form. Or if we want to put it in more mechanical terms, you've heard of these days many motors have or no more induction, but most electric motors are induction motors. That means there is a process of induction. Though there is electricity, though there is a mechanism, still it doesn't go unless induction happens. So this is like an induction. Does this happen offline or online? There's no such thing. As I've said repeatedly, many times probably, I have initiated more people who I have never seen in my life than people whom I have seen. This doesn't mean I initiated them online, this happened well before online came, this has been happening forever. The important thing is just this. The entire program, the physical programs we've been conducting or now the online programs we're conducting, essentially is about knocking on your door. How much knocking do you need on your head is different from person to person. There was a time when our initiations had long preparation. We were going through a 13-day program, preparing people to be initiated, because that was a different sort of initiation which now is happening as a secondary program in the form of Shunya. At that time, the basic program was Shunya, so we need 13 to 14 days. Without that, we could not do it because we needed that level of openness. So, all programs, let's look at it this way, all programs are just a knock on the door. When we… see, if we want to make you open the front door, tock, 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 but some of you peep out of the hole and say, "Who is that?" Say, "No, I'm Sadhguru." "What do you want?" "No, I don't even want to enter your house, but just open the door. If you just open the door, I'll go away." "No." "Who is this guy saying, open the door? What do you want?" "No, I don't want anything." "Then you're really dangerous. You don't want anything?" You need to understand this is the nature of dimensions beyond physicality. In physicality, everything is transactional. You give this, I give that. You take this, I take that. It's a world of give and take, which has its usefulness, which has its own pleasures and beauty to it. But transactional world is one thing, transformational world is of a different nature. So, initiation is a transmission. Without transmission, there is no transformation. And transmission is not a transaction. A teaching is a transaction. In some way, it is a transaction. So, the programs that you have gone through are kind of transactions. Sit there, talk to you, you ask question, I answer you, and you ask one more question, I answer you, for that you ask another question. Oh, how many have you asked? I am showing such enthusiasm to pick up every question and hit the ball every time with full enthusiasm, not because I think it is a great question, it's a dumb question. But I know that is the way you open your door, that is your code. I must do tuk 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 tuk. Then you open the door. Who is it? A familiar voice. You'll open the door. Unfamiliar voice, maybe it's God, but you will not open the door. Because you are that kind, we have programs and more stupid programs. This virus, phew, gone. All programs gone. So now we're just waiting that this constant threat of mortality and as Allama said, once you have money in your head, we can't talk to you. I hope money stays in your pocket, it's necessary, but maybe it will drain out of your head because you have money in the bank, but you can't travel anywhere, you can't spend on anything. So realization is slowly happening, willingness is slowly happening. As this willingness happens, knocking on the door becomes less and less relevant. The transaction of teaching and trying to make you willing will become less and less relevant. This I found, in a very stark and painful way, I realized this. When I first went into to conduct a prison program, now it's mandatory in southern India, in all the prisons happening, even during this pandemic, our teachers are doing the online programs in the prisons in southern India. We did some here also in United States. When I went there, I just realized, I announced a 10-day program, thinking I will do a basic, simple program, thinking because most of the people in the prison, many of them have… almost everybody is a school dropout, 90% of them. Many of them have never been to school, language, all these issues, how much they can understand. But when I went there, what I was supposed to teach in 10 days, I was done in 2 days. Then what to do? I did Bhavaspandana in another 2 days. I did Samyama right there, everything, all these programs which happen in different stages for the free people who are imprisoned by themselves. For the imprisoned, I could do everything within a few days, 6-7 days, everything over. After that, we were just together enjoying each other's company and absolutely joyful, fantastic atmosphere out there in 10 days' time. All programs got over in a brief time because no knocking was needed. The only problem in the prison is the door is not open. Somebody else has closed it. Home, you have closed it, so you don't realize. In your heart, you have closed it, so you don't realize. In your mind, you have closed it, so you don't realize. When somebody else has closed the door upon you, the only thing that you want is door open. Yes or no? Only thing that you want in your life is door open. This is what I realized with the prisoners, convicts. If you look at their things that they have done, terrible things they have done, but they became such fantastic spiritual material for transmission, boom, it just went like that. Even now, they're writing to us, writing poetry. Programs have been going on for over 20 years now in the prisons. Many of them who are there for life, or in India, unfortunately, there are many people who are sitting on the death row and waiting for over 10, 15 years. Their lives are fully transformed because opening the door was the only thing that they wanted. Now you are very cautious about opening the door. As mortality knocks not from outside but from inside, now opening the door becomes natural. So this is one part of it. Another part of it is the preparatory part. Preparation is… one thing is on the level of the body, which our teachers, our Ishangas, will do it with small groups of people online, taking much more time. What was being done in about 3-4 hours' time will be done in much more elaborate way to ensure that preparatory practices get across. And knocking, we will knock you more than we were knocking when we were in physical presence. We are seeing technology-wise, we are still exploring various methods with which every 100 participants could be monitored by a dedicated volunteer, seeing that all of them are focused. There are some issues to talk to them, stay focused, don't go to the bathroom now. You must see the incredible thing. After going through 7 days of program, we've been telling them continuously, see, all this circus is only to initiate you. Just when initiation is happening, simply somebody gets up. What? What? Somebody volunteers stop. What? I want to go to the bathroom. Well, just now you went and came. No, I like to go once again. This is called karma. Because inside your compulsions rule you. We don't have to go through these obscenities. If you go to the bathroom, you go. All right? You just won't get it, that's up to you. If that's your choice, it's fine with me. So, openness to create the necessary door opening, we are doing many things. If you sit there, now that you're in Peru, Where is this? Peru? Now you're in Peru and you're thirsty, you're not a problem. I'm sure you will come and sit there 10 minutes ahead of me, waiting. If you're like that, you're not a problem. I am not initiating you online, I'm just initiating you individually as a person, which is how it is always done. There is no offline, online. Initiation is a direct transmission. It will happen that way and it will be as effective as ever. Only thing is, your family, your pets, your children, husband, wife must be kept out. You are absolutely there with the process. We will ensure it works wonderfully well without your neighbor screaming, your neighbor falling on you, something else happening in the crowded class, all those problems gone just by yourself as it should have been. Actually, it's ideal condition. If you are absolutely open, in fact, it is a much better condition than an assembly of 5,000–10,000 people. 5,000–10,000 people, there are many issues which are hard to manage. Now, I think these are better times in that way. You're sitting by yourself, you're thirsty. If you're not, you're in the bathroom, it's okay. It'll work wonderfully well.
For those of you who may have just joined us, Sadhguru was just speaking about how the inner engineering process can be offered as an in-person experience or as an online experience, equally powerful. There is no difference between the two. The Inner Engineering Completion online program is step 2 of the process. The step 2 is divided into 3 sessions. So you can go to innerengineering.com and learn more. If you have not yet started your inner engineering journey, you can register for Inner Engineering Inclusive, or you can register for each step separately. You can register for Part 1, Inner Engineering Online, and then Inner Engineering Completion Online. Inner Engineering Completion Online is offered next month in early June, starting June 4th. There are multiple dates and times to choose from. On June 12th, or Session 3, after you complete Session 1 and Session 2 of the Completion Online program, June 12th will be the day where you have an opportunity to receive the Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. The Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya is a 21-minute practice that you can do sitting on the floor in a particular posture or sitting in a chair. Throughout the Part 2 or Inner Engineering Completion online program step, hundreds of volunteers will be on hand to support your experience, to support you from a technical standpoint, to make sure you don't face any issues of that nature, but to also support you while you're doing the practices. So this is a step that anyone who wishes to establish their well-being can take. We will return to the questions just where we left off. Alexander is asking, could this provide relief for back pain? Yes, Alexander, it definitely can. Now, when you ask about back pain, it does depend on the nature of the back pain. If it is there as a result of surgery or a serious back injury, we do recommend that you consult with your physician before taking the step of inner engineering completion online. If you feel the back pain is based off of where you hold stress in the body, maybe under usage of the body physically, sitting at a desk chair, working at a desk job, something along these lines, then we do still encourage you to do the program, try the practices, but do everything slowly and gently. You'll be able to address this question in more detail with the instructor who will be offering the Inner Engineering Completion online sessions for you live when you're a participant. Maria is asking about the duration of sessions 1 and 2 in the completion program. The duration of the sessions 1 and 2 is little under 3 hours. The completion session on June 12th, where you learn Shambhavi, is a full day session, but breaks are built into the experience. Lena, I believe I answered your question just now about the duration of session 3. Anna is asking, what are the requirements that are expected of the participant to successfully complete the program? So what is required, Anna, is your willingness to explore tools of well-being from the ancient science of yoga. That's all that is technically required. We ask that you attend all of the sessions in full so you have a complete experience. Each session builds upon the previous session that was offered. So to ensure that there's continuity and you have the ability to do the practices learned on your own, this is what is being asked of you. The cost and other details, Anna, can be found at innerengineering.com. Go to the middle of the page and explore Inner Engineering Completion online by clicking Enroll. That will take you to not only the cost information, but also dates and timings for the experience. Jenna is asking, is this a program that we purchase and can go back to the recorded sessions? So Jenna, if you've not yet started your inner engineering journey, step 1, Inner Engineering Online, you are given a certain duration of time within which to complete the 7 online sessions. So it is during this time when you can go back and deepen your understanding of what is being offered. You can also go back and access the question and answer bank and various other elements. In terms of step 2 or Inner Engineering Completion online, it is offered as a live process. Going back and experiencing certain portions of it will actually work against your program experience. So as you walk through step 2 or Inner Engineering Completion online, just keep in mind that the program is designed to be received in a certain way by Sadhguru. You will be receiving support from volunteers throughout the experience, and for any questions you may have, extensive resources are available. Once you take the completion online program or step 2, you would establish these practices and start to benefit from them. Ojasvi is asking if Shambhavi Mahamudra can be practiced if another spiritual practice is being done along with it. There is no conflict. This particular question will be further explored within the Inner Engineering program. Alexander is asking about Isha's classical Hatha Yoga program to improve his posture, health, happiness, and spiritual progress. Is this a good first step, or would going straight into inner engineering be a better choice? So Alexander, going into inner engineering would be the best choice. It is the flagship program of Isha Foundation. You will learn some Hatha Yoga practices, the practices that prepare your system for Shambhavi within inner engineering itself. The desires that you have expressed in your question can be fulfilled by doing this program. After you have this context and this foundation established within you, you can go and pursue one of our Hatha Yoga program offerings. That would be a great complement to the inner engineering practices. You're also asking, what is the difference between inner engineering and our other yoga programs? Inner engineering is the flagship program. It is the introductory program. For other yoga program descriptions offered by Isha Foundation, we ask that you go to the website, ishausa.org. One of our chat support volunteers will be posting this website for you as a next step for your exploration. Pema, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I've already registered for inner engineering completion. There is just session 1 and 2, but not session 3. So session 3 on June 12th, when you receive Shambhavi as part of the completion program, will open up within the program week. So now you will have access to session 1 and session 2. Within the time frame of session 1 and session 2, you will have access to session 3. So you are technically fully registered for the completion program. Amandeep is asking if there are any special offers, as he is unable to pay the full amount, but he is willing to learn Shambhavi. So right now, Amandeep, we have a special offer until May 27th for inner engineering completion online, or part 2. If you have already completed inner engineering online, you can make use of this special offer that is on our website, innerengineering.com. You can click on enroll to learn more. Once you go to the page, you will find the details to make use of for the registration process. It is wonderful to see that you are willing to learn Shambhavi. We do have people in a variety of financial positions. You can certainly write to us as well at info@ishausa.org to learn about other options and support that may be available. Diana is asking if after June there is another inner engineering completion at the Tennessee Center. Yes, Diana, upon completion of part 1 or inner engineering online, you can register for the 2-day residential in-person inner engineering completion at our center. We are offering them on, I would say, a monthly basis. The website, ishausa.org, will be able to familiarize you further. Sirisha is sharing that she is trying to register for inner engineering completion, but she is unable to do so. So Sirisha, we want to make sure that you've completed the inner engineering online, the 7 online sessions. That is part 1 of the process. Once you complete the 7 online sessions, you'll be able to register for part 2 or the completion program. If you've not yet started your inner engineering journey, you can register for Inner Engineering Inclusive. All of this is located at innerengineering.com. Shweta is sharing that she completed inner engineering a few years ago, but would like support for her daily practice. So Shweta, the focus of this particular webinar is to familiarize people with the Inner Engineering Completion online program. Since you've already completed the program, we suggest that you check your email for post-program support. Just for everyone's knowledge here, so we're all on the same page, after you complete the full Inner Engineering program, which is part 1 and part 2, both the 7 online sessions along with the completion session program where you learn Shambhavi, you'll be introduced to a variety of post-program supports that you can make use of as a tremendous support for the daily practice. Sandy is asking about the Kriya. What are the components of it? Does it include asanas, breath work, mantra, etc.? So Sandy, you will get to know the nature of Shambhavi Mahamudra within the program atmosphere itself. There is a certain atmosphere that's established whereby we speak about the response to your question in a bit more detail. Because we are in a different atmosphere, I will give you a more general answer. The Inner Engineering Completion online program, or part 2 of your journey, includes 2 major elements in terms of the practice sequence. The first major element is a set of preparatory practices, or Hatha Yoga practices, physical yogic practices, or asanas. Part 2, which Part 1 prepares you for, the preparatory practices, is Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. It is a 21-minute practice that incorporates the breath. It is purifying in nature, and it can be done by anyone, either seated on the floor in a particular posture or seated in a chair. Other elements that directly address your question will be shared within the program atmosphere of the class. Adarsh is sharing that he is feeling down and maybe kind of depressed and wanting to know how to recover from this. The first step, Adarsh, is inner engineering. We would recommend, I would also personally recommend, inner engineering tools can create a state of blissfulness within you, whereby you are no longer affected by external situations. You may no longer be affected by negative thoughts and emotions. This possibility exists for every one of us. But if you do have a serious medical condition, we do advise that you speak to a physician. The yoga and meditation practices that are offered by Isha Foundation are not a substitute for medical treatment. They can be a very powerful complement to ongoing medical treatment that a person's system requires at a particular period in life. So please pursue these options as is necessary for you so you can live a joyful life. Jakad is asking, are the physical yogic practices necessary to achieve the inner engineering completion? So I'm not quite sure if I'm following your question correctly. This is not about achieving anything in particular. I'll start there. But what is required to experience inner engineering completion in its entirety is primarily willingness to explore the entire program from start to finish. So it's not about, point A to point B. If I do these asanas, I'll reach point B. It should not be oversimplified in such a logical way. I would emphasize that inner engineering is an experiential program whereby you receive certain tools and practices that you can make use of in your everyday life. So I invite you to register for the programs and explore what unfolds for you into the future. So Mohammed is sharing about how it'll be impossible for him to do Shambhavi without upper back support. He's even tried using pillows. So can he do Shambhavi with lower and upper back support? So Mohammed, we do want to take this opportunity to emphasize that everything should be done slowly and gently, working with the body's current physical flexibility and capability. We will explore the aspect of how to sit for Shambhavi within the program, but you are definitely not excluded from the process. So we can explore further about back support and what is needed to make it happen for you. It is possible that you may not have used the pillows or the cushions that you have within reach in the most effective way. We can guide you on that aspect. Please come for the program and we can take it one step at a time. Alexander is asking, when I say transmission, what does that mean exactly? So Alexander, while we are not sitting in the atmosphere of the program itself, and instead this is an atmosphere of an introduction to the program, ironically what I will tell you in response to this question is it is actually not something that can be communicated in words. So that is the irony of you asking this question about transmission. But I'm certainly not laughing at the question. To answer it in a more serious way, the steps in session 1 and session 2 of the completion program prepare your system to receive a process that cannot be communicated through words. So if I were to attempt to use any language to define the transmission process, it would actually destroy the possibility for you. So this is experiential. Walk through the program step by step in the completion program, session 1 and session 2, starting June 4th, making the appropriate selection based on date and time on your schedule, in such a way where you will be ready for session 3 on June 12th, when you receive Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. Alexander is also asking if Upayoga is a good preamble to learn in the meantime before Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya in June. This is a very inspiring question, Alexander. Yes, Upayoga are some of the practices that we offer as complementary practices on the Sadhguru app. They can definitely assist in health and well-being, and if a person has time, I would certainly recommend that. Christina is asking if a couple can do inner engineering completion online together. So certainly a couple can register for a particular program, the same one at the same time. But we do recommend that you use separate devices when going through the online program. There could be a tendency to speak to one another while the sessions are happening, and really what we're looking for is to create an atmosphere for the individual person, whereby the time that is spent within the sessions themselves is exclusively dedicated for that person's individual well-being. So certainly a couple can register together, but it is a separate experience, a separate exploration of inner engineering that is underway during the program. Sandy is asking, how long are the sessions of session 1 and 2? Just shy of 3 hours before June 12th, the final session. Heidi is asking, when is the next completion online program if this next one is not an option? Heidi, may I say, if you can prioritize your time and join us for the June program, that would be wonderful. Otherwise, if it is really not possible for you schedule-wise, we predict the next one will be in the fall, but dates are to be confirmed. Elizabeth is asking about the Inner Engineering Completion Program, the in-person offering. The cost is in the website, ishausa.org. You can select upcoming programs and you'll learn more about this particular offering. Sahil is asking if it would be good to use headphones or earphones during the sessions. We recommend against that. It is not needed to use headphones and earphones. Instead, we recommend taking the time between now and the start of the completion program, your participation, to see how to select a quiet indoor space. But this would be an impediment. Having something in the ears or a headphone, that would be an impediment to your experience. Nirvinika is asking, what are the key differences between Part 1, Inner Engineering Online, and Part 2, Inner Engineering Completion, in terms of effects? So, Nirvinika, in terms of effects and benefits that a person can experience, it is innumerable and in some ways immeasurable, quite tremendous. But each person is very unique. Each person's human system is very unique. So how the inner engineering process impacts them will be different. But all of the practices that are offered by Isha Foundation are 100% safe, so they will only benefit you. Now, in particular, Inner Engineering Online, or Part 1, can have a strong impact on your mind and emotions. Once a certain amount of balance or stability is established within the mind and emotions, you are ready to take the next step, or the completion program, where you can learn the preparation, as well as Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. It is the preparation steps or the asanas, the Hatha Yoga practices, along with Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya that can truly transform your experience of life. We'll take one more question. Someone is asking, Alexander is asking, what type of physical abilities and condition is necessary to do this successfully? So, this is an introductory program, Alexander. Physical capability is not a requirement. It is willingness to explore one's inner well-being and establish it with the tools being offered. So it's not as if a person should measure up physically to be able to do the program successfully, to quote the language used in your question. This is not about success, actually. This is about creating a certain atmosphere whereby you are able to experience the program fully. So it's not about being successful. This is about going through the program as best as you can, not forcing the body in any way. And if there is a surgery in one's history or a serious medical injury, we do ask that you consult with your physician to see how you can use the body safely. All throughout the program, the completion program, part 2, we will be emphasizing how you should be doing all of the practices slowly and gently. We'll also be giving modifications, physical modifications to the practices designed by Sadhguru for people to make use of if in fact it is needed. But many times what a person feels about their physical system is one thing. But simply by going through the program, doing everything slowly and gently, suddenly a participant discovers how much more their body can do. We don't force the body to do anything in particular. It's not like that. But organically, by doing everything slowly and gently, suddenly you see you're able to do much more than you ever thought possible. But this is not even just about the physical aspect of it. This is a full experiential program which can offer an overhaul of mind, emotions, body, and even your energy system. So please see it in that context. I hope that this webinar was helpful for all of you. I hope it answered your questions. We encourage you to go to innerengineering.com to learn more. There you will find sharings, testimonials, more videos for you to experience and enjoy. But above all, we ask that you prioritize your well-being because we really don't know what happens in the future. This is not about creating any kind of fear of what may come next. But if we are able to manage our own system in such a way whereby however life goes is how it goes, we remain peaceful and joyful within ourselves, it is a tremendously empowering experience. As I was sharing earlier, I used to practice as an attorney on the East Coast, and I found that the external situations were largely determining how I was feeling within myself. I didn't want to live like that. But I also didn't realize that there was another way of living. I sincerely thought that this was it for me. Stress is just a part of my life. But all of my conclusions about life and about my experience of life completely got demolished by the experience of inner engineering. Now I see that with the right tools, I can now engineer my system. And I can live how I wish to live. That freedom and that choice and that level of power, feeling so empowered, has changed the course of my life completely. I have benefited so tremendously from inner engineering that I'm now simply a joyful person. A stranger on the street has noticed it. Friends have noticed it. But also family has noticed it as well. Family members who have known you from your childhood, they're also seeing changes. I don't have any special skills. I am not any more receptive than anyone else. It is simply that I've taken this step to establish my well-being. And because I've been so benefited, so tremendously benefited from all that inner engineering has to offer, I took a step and became a full-time volunteer. So I support the vision of Isha Foundation full-time. It is my privilege to do so, and it is wonderful now that all my time on the planet is geared towards well-being. So it was wonderful to meet you. We look forward to meeting you online in the next Inner Engineering Completion online program. Please ensure that you register for the program. If you haven't started the journey, Inner Engineering Inclusive, if you're yet to start or complete Inner Engineering online, finish that. And then once you finish it, you can register for Inner Engineering Completion online. We look forward to having you with us as participants in the Completion online program and your receiving of Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya on June 12th. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day.